Greetings, everyone. My name is Nirmala Raju. You may know me as Nila or Nimi. Today we are going to be talking to Macaya. He is a transformationalist, energy healer, and teacher. Macaya is trained in 17 healing modalities, and he has created 44 different modalities of healing. Wow, that is so great, and we are so honored to have him with us today. Macaya, can you please talk about your journey a little bit for me?
Definitely. Well, I had an experience when I was 16 years old. I went dancing all night long till the sunrise came up, and the next morning I woke up and I just was like, I had this awareness, and I looked over at my best friend. I'm like, dude, I'm supposed to be an energy healer.
Wow, just like that.
And he just started laughing. He's like, okay. That was 15 years ago. And then I didn't really do much. I looked into aromatherapy a little bit, and I got a book on Reiki, but I never read it. And then about 7 years ago, no, let's go 8 years ago, I developed a really intense disease that most doctors didn't even consider real. So I knew they weren't going to be able to help me. So I had to do it all on my own, and with the help of some alternative healers too, but they didn't really have all the answers for me. So it just propelled me into studying energy healing and metaphysics and spirituality and consciousness every day. And I was meditating, doing healing work on myself, and studying spirituality and consciousness anywhere from 1 to 12 hours a day, every single day, trying to.
Wow. How long did that go?
That went on for about a year and 3 months.
Right.
And over the course of that, I learned a lot of healing modalities. I took a bunch of classes, and just really started to become more empowered. Like, okay, I can change stuff in my life and the lives of other people. I wasn't working on other people back then, but I was like, if I can do this for myself, I bet I can do this for other people. So after that 15-month journey, I got over my disease for most of the part, at least enough to be able to function in society again. And I started a healing practice, and what I noticed is that I could affect really massive change in people's lives by clearing out their entire timeline. Any trauma that they've ever experienced, like, we go to the root of that and like reprogram it like it didn't exist, and it just changed their entire life. It changed their body, it changed their relationships, changed their financial situation.
So all this is done energetically.
Can you say that again, please?
Is this all done energetically?
Yeah, well, back then I was using energy healing, and I was also using some visualization techniques. And
right, okay.
And that worked really well, but what happened was it would take like 2 hours to just deal with one issue. And you know, back then I was fine with that because I was like, wow, how much change is this? This is awesome. But then things kept going in my life, and like, I was just like, you know what, this is really way too slow. I should be able to do this a lot quicker. So then I started channeling different higher dimensional beings, ascended masters, angels, beings from the Pleiades, and they would download me with these energy healing systems, and they just kept coming and coming and coming, and I'm like, whoa, you know, how am I ever going to get all these out there to the world? You know, I don't know if I can teach all of these. And I guess they weren't really for me to teach. They were just really to add to my healing abilities. I did teach some of them, but some of them were like Pleiadian Light Reiki and Sacred Geometry Reiki and the Ascended Masters Empowerment, and all these energies contributed to the change I could create in people, but still, it wasn't fast enough. Which is,
right.
This needs to be faster, and this needs to be easier because, nobody here has the time to waste a long time to change everything in their lives. So
You
then
got me there, Patrick.
yeah, well, it's like time is sped up so fastly, and it's like we barely have enough time in our days to take care of what we need to take care of in our day, more or less than like going out and trying to clear out all our past trauma and drama. It's like, let's have things be quick, fast, and easy.
Mm-hmm.
So then I learned another modality of healing.
Okay.
And I was able to get the change that I was able to get in 2 hours before in about 45 minutes. I was like, okay, well, that's a pretty good step. I was doing that for a while, but again, it was so time consuming. I'm like, people are only going to get one thing out of this. We need to do more. So then I learned another healing modality where I was able to do that 45-minute thing in about 5 minutes or less, 1 to 5 minutes. And I'm like, cool, this is where it's at. This is awesome. This is really fast. And I was getting really great results with people. Then I was teaching classes with my now business partner and the co-creator of Rich Healing and my really great friend, Vandana, who lives in New York in the United States of America. And we were talking on the phone. We had both been teaching classes in this one healing modality, and we were like, you know what? We should be able to get a lot more change, a lot faster, and a lot easier, and a lot quicker. And it should be really, 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 really easy. And we were like getting really intense about this, and a little bit angry even, and just like, we should be able to do this a lot quicker. And as that energy was building up and building up and building up, boom, we both got downloaded with this energy of Rich Healing at the same time.
Right.
And she's
at the same time, wow.
Yeah, she's in New York. I'm in Tucson, Arizona, which is like 2,000 miles away. So it was really intense. And what we became aware of is Rich Healing embodies all of the healing modalities and healing energies that have ever existed on the earth plane, that will ever exist on the earth plane, and even more than we know how to ask for.
Right. Okay. So when did this happen, Macaya?
This happened almost a year ago. It happened at the end of October of 2012.
Right.
So it's pretty new, but the changes we've been getting with people have just been really outstanding and really fast. Like what I was able to do in 2 hours 7 years ago, I can now do in the course of like 5 to 10 seconds.
Fantastic. 5 to 10 seconds. Wow. So are you teaching this modality as well?
Am I basing this modality out of what?
Are you teaching this Rich Healing modality as well?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely teaching it. We have certification classes. They're 3 days long, and we have 5 different levels plus a teacher training, so other people can teach it. And today, with everybody who's listening, I'm going to share a couple tools from that class that they can use to start changing their lives right now. But really, in those 3-day classes, we teach a lot of healing energies that have specific functions, like living from the space expanded out to infinite consciousness, sexual healing, increasing the amount of energy you have in your body, and way more intense stuff too that I'm not really going to get into right now. But we teach those, but at the same time, we also teach you to awaken your innate healing ability, which goes beyond any technique that we could ever teach.
Right. Yeah, that is so important. if people have to keep going to heal us, it's not really empowering.
Right. Yeah. And everybody out there knows something about healing. They know how to heal. And they're actually really good at it if they would just allow themselves to know that they know everything they need to heal themselves and others. So we empower people to know that and develop a style. Because Fonda and I don't desire anybody to heal like us and be like us and talk like us. We're not trying to create clones of ourselves. We're trying to create people out there in the world that can contribute as much to expanding consciousness on this planet as possible and creating as much joy on this planet as possible.
That's wonderful. Would you be able to share with us a really empowering experience, please?
Yeah. Well, before we do that, I'm gonna share a couple tools that
Okay. You're all for it.
Awesome. So there's a couple of tools that we use in Rich Healing called clearings and creations. And what these do is it allows you to clear out the energy of any limitation that you've ever chosen, or emotions, or disempowering thoughts, or any conclusions, like you said, I can't have this, or I can't do this. We can clear that out instantly. And it doesn't only clear out from you, it clears out from your entire ancestral lineage and all of your past lives.
That's really interesting. When we use your tools, we can clear away the ancestral patterns as well.
Definitely. All the way, your entire ancestral lineage, all the way back to your first family.
Right, fantastic.
And it also clears out everybody you're connected with on this earth plane, all your friends, your family, your coworkers, even people that you only see once in a while, like the checkout lady at the supermarket. It clears them out too. So it ripples out and creates a lot of change. So how we do this is we use a tool called Rich. And Rich stands for release, integrate, clear, and harmonize.
Okay.
So what
how do we use this tool?
Awesome question. So what we do is we bring up something that we'd like to clear. And we can either do that like with a question or with a statement. So if we were doing it with a question, and let's just talk about joy, because I like creating more joy on this planet. So if you're going to use a question to bring up this energy, you could say, where am I holding myself back from joy? So I'm going to ask that to you. So where are you holding yourself back from joy?
We just ask this question to ourselves.
Yeah. And you might get an answer, you might not. It doesn't matter. Because we're just bringing up the energy of it. Because if we're clearing out everything all the way back to your first family and all your past lives, there's probably a billion answers to that question. So we just bring up the energy of it, and then we say everything, all that is Rich.
Okay. How long do we have to say this?
Just once. One
Really?
time will do it. And so notice how your body feels now. After we ran that clearing, does it feel lighter and more expansive, like it's easier to breathe?
Yeah, it is lighter, definitely.
Cool.
Wow.
So the other way we can use this tool is we can just use the statement. Like everywhere I'm holding myself back from joy. So everywhere you're holding yourself back from experiencing more joy than you ever imagined possible. Rich.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. I'm having reactions in my body.
Well, it's really funny because when I teach these classes, The certification class. And I do a lot of teleclasses too. I do 2 teleclasses a week that people can join from all over the world. And people sometimes start shaking or moving or like doing weird things with their hands because they're just getting downloaded with this energy. So what we're doing with the rich clearing is we're releasing and clearing all the heavy, dense, and stuck energies that are limiting you from having everything that it is you desire in your life.
That seems really easy.
It is. So so rich again stands for release, integrate, clear, and harmonize. So that's the R and C. Then the I stands for integrate. So after we're releasing and clearing all those heavy, dense energies that were never yours in the first place, then we integrate. So whenever an infinite being chooses a limitation or pain or suffering, they deny part of themselves or they like leave part of themselves and kind of lock it back in time wherever they chose that limitation. Maybe they had a traumatic experience, like they were in an abusive relationship and they got slapped, and then they're like, okay, well, I'll never have another relationship again. Well, that's not fun.
So it is a decision.
Yeah. So they're creating that conclusion, I'll never have a relationship again, but really you as an infinite being probably desire to be connected with other people, at least on some level. So, but when you create a conclusion like that, you leave a part of yourself and kind of freeze it back in time whenever you chose that limitation. So what the integration part does is it unfreezes that part of you and brings it back into present time and integrates it into your body and being. And then that ripples out and affects the entire timeline, changing your entire past, present, and future. So you have access to all of you, which is this really amazing, light, high, spacious, blissful vibration.
Fantastic. Wow.
So
it's
after
really inspiring.
Yes, that's what I like to hear.
Keep going.
So after you release
that much heaviness in few seconds.
Yeah, just
wow,
really
that
quick.
is great. I can't wait to try this out.
Yay. So after we release and clear the heavy, dense energy and integrate you, more of you, as an infinite being, then the H stands for harmonize and rich. So what we're doing is we're harmonizing all the energetic bodies in the physical body to vibrate at that new higher level effortlessly and instantly. I took a lot of classes where people were like, okay, you're going to go get a healing done and then you're going to get really sick and have a healing crisis. But after that, you're going to feel really good, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, I've heard of that, yeah.
And I'm just like, no. But yet I perpetrated that lie to lots of people that was required until I found something different. And the harmonize makes it so that doesn't have to happen. It just like brings your body and your being up to that new vibration instantly and effortlessly right away, so you would never have to have a healing crisis.
That sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
So for people who have received rich healing from you or from your practitioners, nobody has ever had any sort of healing crisis?
No, not at all.
Fantastic.
You might get a little tired after a session, but that would be the extent of it, because your body just needs a little bit of time to really rise to that next level. The harmonize does it, but it's like sometimes if you've been holding on to something for a really, really, really long time, your body might need an hour of rest to really allow itself to be at that new higher vibration.
Right, okay. So if it is really, this fast, you can really heal the entire life, all your problems in a few minutes.
You really can, because it's like, if you have a problem in your life, at some level you created it. You have some sort of energy that attracts that, because I like this saying in homeopathy, which is a type of natural medicine, and they say like energy attracts like energy. So if you have the energy of anger in your vibrational field, you're going to attract other people that have that anger.
Right. Okay.
So when you clear out that anger, everything that makes me angry about this, Rich, then that energy isn't there anymore. So either the other person lets it go because they don't have any thing to resist against with you, which is one of the functions of anger. So they either let the anger go or they leave your life.
Wow. Okay. Seems magical for me. Okay, cool. So what are the other tools you can share with us?
Awesome. So after we clear things out, people come to me not because they do desire to clear things out from the past, but they want to change their life. They want to create something new and different that's more joyful, more expansive, more fun, more playful, more blissful. So after we clear out, after we clear out the heavy, dense energies of limitation from your field, then we can start creating. Some people call it manifesting or actualizing. I like to just call it creating. So we use a tool called the creation tool, and that's called RACE, R-A-C-E.
R-A-C-E, okay, yeah.
RACE stands for radiate, activate, create, and expand.
Okay, cool.
So what we're doing is the C is create, so we're creating the energy of whatever it is we're asking for to create. Then the R stands for radiate. So we're radiating that energy out from our body and being. The A stands for activate. So we're activating all the people, places, things, situations, and energetic pathways that would allow whatever it is you're asking for to come into physical manifestation quickly, really easily, and sometimes, a lot of times actually, instantly and effortlessly.
Okay.
And then the E stands for expand. So we're expanding that energy all the way out to infinite consciousness. So every being and every molecule in infinite consciousness will contribute to you having whatever it is that you desire.
Fantastic. How do we use this, Macaya?
Well, you can ask a question, and I really like this question. So you ask, what would it take for blank to show up as if by magic? And you fill in the blank. You fill in the blank. So it's like, let's talk about more joy. So let's use this question. What would it take for you to be and experience and play with more joy than you ever imagined possible as if by magic?
My body is shaking.
Yeah. So the first thing we do is we clear everything that wouldn't allow that out. So everything that wouldn't allow that, Rich. And then we create it. So we say everything that is, Race.
That's simple.
It really is. And you can use this, we were just talking about joy, but I recently did it for a car. And I was like, okay, it's really time for me to upgrade to a new car. What's it going to take for that to show up as if by magic? And then I cleared it out and I created it. And literally within 6 days I had a new car.
Whoa, my God. Okay.
So play with it. It's really fun. And I know I went through these tools pretty quickly. If you want to learn more about them, there's an article and a video of me explaining these tools on the Rich Healing website, richhealing.com. It's on the right side. There's an article that says the Rich Healing Tools, Rich and Race. So please use these tools. Please share them with people, and please change your lives with them. And then tell me about it, because I love hearing when people are using these tools. They're like, wow, I just created this awesome thing. I'm like, yes. Oh, I just got out of 20 years of depression in like 10 minutes. Yes, awesome. Love it.
Wow, that sounds really, really magical. So what else have you created with these tools, Macaya?
Oh my gosh. Well, I created my most crowning achievement, as far as I'm concerned, is I created the most amazing girlfriend in the entire world for myself.
Okay.
You know, I had been in a relationship about, well, almost 3 years ago now is when it ended, and I was in it for 3 years. And this lady was horrible to me. She was just really mean, and yet I thought I was the loving spiritual person, so I had to take it all and just love her unconditionally and stick around and take all of her abuse. And it really jaded me for a long time about relationships. I'm like, I don't even want to play that game because it's going to be horrible. But literally, it was 5 days after Vondan and I downloaded the Rich Healing tools. I manifested the most amazing lover and really person that I've ever known that quickly, because I was just like, okay, what would it take for a fun, phenomenal, and rewarding playmate to show up that loves me more than I've ever been loved before, as if by magic?
Mm-hmm.
And 5 days later, boom, she was there.
Wow. So how can we create more peace on the planet with this? So if everybody started using this simple tool, can we have more peace and joy very, very quickly?
Truly. And it's really simple, because you can use these blanket statements that clear out everything. You just say, everything that wouldn't allow me to be more peaceful on this planet than I ever imagined possible, Rich. And then you can add something like, everything that being more peaceful on this planet than I ever imagined possible is, Race.
Yeah, it is clearing up a lot of stuff.
It does. We don't have to look at like, okay, well, my dad slapped me when I was 6. In a past life, I was killed by the Archbishop of England. You know, we don't have to look for those specific events. We can. I mean, if it's like going to be fun and playful, but it's like, no, it's just like everything that doesn't allow this, Rich. And that's where the quickness comes in. That's where the speed and the effortlessness comes in, because I don't want people to have to like journal for 3 hours a day to find the root cause of their problems. That takes way too long, and like, we're here on this planet to experience as much joy and bliss as possible. So I don't desire people to have to sit in their emotional stuff and like dig through it and swim through it and try to find out, you know, where the drain is to unclog it so it can all go away. No, I just want them to be able to be quick. Like, everything this is, Rich. And then move forward into something into a life that's more joyful than you ever imagined possible.
Very nice. I have also gone through lots and lots of healing modalities, many self-help healing modalities.
Uh-huh.
And sometimes I've seen that we recreate the same problem or the relief is really temporary.
Yeah.
I've gone through this cycle in the past. Not anymore, but I also see some people going through this pattern.
And that's what was happening.
Healing, we can clear away these patterns as well.
Yeah, that's what was happening to me 7 years ago when I started out practicing Reiki and then some other healing modalities and the stuff I channeled. And I was getting results with people, but at the same point, like, I would clear out all of it and then like 50% of it would come back. And so I'm like,
you are right. It used to be like an upward spiral.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now we're just like deleting the entire spiral and just clearing it all out. Rich healing is permanent. The results you get with it are permanent. And
okay.
And when you run these clearings and creations, they only really have to be run once. Unless you're like doing an open-ended question that can be ever expanding, like, okay, what else can I create in my life that's going to bring me lots of money now and in the future? You might want to clear that and create that a bunch of times so you can keep adding stuff to your life. But if you're clearing something specific, it's one time, permanent, boom, done.
Right. Okay. So it's just this one question and one clearing. That's it. You don't have to have many more processes.
No,
specific issues.
People don't. I don't perceive that people have the time to do that anymore. Like our days go by so fast, and it's like, let's take, if there's something that needs to be addressed, let's address it, clear it out, but let's do it quickly so we can go back to creating as much joy on this planet as possible.
Fantastic. So now that you have shared these tools with us, and many healers will be listening to this, do you think they can use these tools in their healing sessions, the sessions they offer?
Please do. I mean, create as much change on this planet as possible with these tools. And if you'd like to learn more, we're gonna do a little healing activation in a little while, so you can get an experience of some of the healing energies we use with Rich Healing. And I've been running them a little bit on everybody since the beginning of the call, but they're really going to ramp up in a few minutes here. But for these Rich and Race tools, please use them in your practice, in your family, if they're willing to receive it, and definitely on yourself, because the change that can be created with these tools is amazing, miraculous, and so fast that it will add to anybody's toolkit of whatever they've been using in the past.
Well, that's very generous of you, Macaya, and you are a great contribution.
Thank
so
you.
Are you going to share some more tools, or are we going to go into the activation straight away?
I think I'd just like to go into the activation. Let's go through that and give everybody an experience here.
Okay.
All right. So, by the way, one of my 3 cats, the loving little Lotus, she's here on my lap. She's also attuned to Rich Healing and all the energy healing modalities I've ever learned. So she desires to help too. I just wanted to acknowledge her. She's going to be contributing to the healing here.
Thank you.
So everybody close your eyes. And what I'd like you to do is become aware of the energy that surrounds your body. Now expand that energy out to the size of the room you're in. And now expand it out to the size of the building you're in. Now expand it out to the size of the city block you're on. Now expand it out to the size of the city you're in. Now expand it out to the size of the province or state that you're in. Now expand out to the size of the entire country you're in. Now expand it out to the size of the planet. Now expand out to the size of the solar system. Now the galaxy. Now expand it out to the universes and beyond. And now expand that energy out to infinite consciousness. We're just going to activate some things now. So let's do activation of love and joy, Rich Race.
My head is spinning. What did you do? I literally feel that my crown chakra has opened up. I can feel a chill just above my head.
Oh. Well, wow. We're really... When I start an activation like this, I'm becoming the vibration of infinite consciousness's perspective of love and joy. How infinite consciousness experiences love and joy.
Mhm.
And so as I'm being that energy, that raises everybody else that is listening to this, their vibration to that energy, to that vibration of infinite consciousness. And in doing that, it opens up and heals your energy field and your energy flows. So you can really be that in your day-to-day life,
Mhm.
in all time.
Yeah. So anytime we listen to this recording again, we get another activation?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh.
So please
Quite
listen
intense.
to it.
Fantastic. What an experience.
Yay.
Thank you for that.
You're so welcome.
Wow. So the more everyone uses these tools, then we can also become the energy of the activation.
Yeah. And you are. But here's the thing, like infinite consciousness is ever expanding, always expanding. So when you listen to this again, you're going to be listening to it from the vibration that infinite consciousness has expanded to at that point, and that we've all expanded to, because we've all just lifted our vibrations so high that the next time we will exponentialize on that and go even higher, and then exponentialize on that and even go even higher. So it's really amazing when you listen to these activations over and over and over again, because it just changes your entire life every time.
Okay, we will all give it a go.
All right.
Probably you won't be able to recognize any of us.
I hope not.
Wow. That's so great, and we are so honored to receive all these tools and activation from you, Macaya.
Yay.
Would you like to say anything to our listeners of all time?
Yeah, well, I just want to mention first, if you like this activation, I have a lot more free ones on my website, richhealing.com. There's just a little box on the side that says get your free MP3s, and there's MP3s, there's videos of me doing activations, and Vandana too. Her MP3s are on there also. And then there's longer teleclasses in our store. We do teleclasses 2 to 4 times a week on different topics. We're about to start a magic teleclass, which I'm really excited about, and there's going to be a free one coming up really soon. So check out on the Rich Healing website, richhealing.com, in the next week or two, and sign up for that. If you just want to play and get some more tools, get some more activations, really step into more of who you be.
When people subscribe to your newsletter, so they get notification of all these events as well?
Yeah, definitely. When you get the free MP3s, you just put your email in there. You'll get a download link to the MP3 page, and then we'll let you know about the teleclasses. We have free teleclasses, we have paid teleclasses, and all of them are just really intense, and people always come out so blissful afterwards, and it stays. And if they drop out of that bliss, you get a recording every time you come on a telecall with me. So then you just put the recording on again and get back to that bliss, and then it stays for a long time, and hopefully permanently. If not, you just like play it on repeat while you're sleeping for a few nights, and then you can just elevate yourself to that state where you're there all the time. And
right.
Really nice and really blissful. I teach you. What was that?
So what else is possible for the planet with these new tools?
Definitely. And that's really what it's all about for me, is like, I think about it and I'm like, wow, how amazing would it be if you were just walking down the street and everybody you saw was super joyful and super happy and like willing to connect with you, like willing to look at you in the eye and just acknowledge you, and you acknowledge them, and just like, wow, we're both having such an amazing time here on this planet. How cool is this?
It's so light when you just, describe the energy of it.
Well, and that's really our target with Rich Healing, and it's just to create as much joy on this planet as possible. Because and that starts with yourself. The more joyful you are, that's the invitation, without reservation, without ever holding back. That's the invitation for other people to step into being that much joy.
Absolutely, yeah. I agree with you there. Okay, so with your tools and your activation, yes, our listeners will also be that invitation of joy and happiness and lightness.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Macaya.
You're
really
welcome.
Grateful time and for these wonderful tools and activation.
Thank you so much. I had a wonderful time. Thank you, everybody, for listening to this, and I hope to play with you again in the future.